Okey, cakap pasal bercerita tadi kan. Sekarang saya interested nak tahu pasal ngopi bisnes. Sebab
Okay.
saya perasan bila saya start to follow your group. So saya jadi salah satu daripada subscribers. 18.8k subscribers. Tu dia dekat dalam you punya Telegram tu kan.
Okay.
What motivates you untuk buat I would say classes lah kan sebenarnya.
Yes.
Classes setiap malam pada pukul 9. Almost setiap malam pada pukul 9 dan bercerita pasal benda-benda yang tadi you cerita pada kita.
Okay.
Yeah. What motivates you? Yeah.
It's about making developing ecosystem. You want more people getting rich, so then they can travel with you in vacation, or they can buy our own clothes, or they can buy they can be customers, and we have all other businesses. So then some of the businesses we are targeting those people yang orang kata have ni lah, rich people lah, rich people ataupun well-to-do people, and but we don't have the network yang besar dengan orang-orang yang well-to-do. So why not we make people become well-to-do people? So then they can become our customer as well. But this is very very far vision dia. So ini ialah dia punya ecosystem. And another things yang we concern ialah, you see after COVID-19 outbreak, then you see a lot of people dia hilang pekerjaan. Bila hilang pekerjaan, anak menangis dekat rumah, susu tak ada. Dan anak bapa pula pening kepala, kerja dah kena buang, mak tak kerja. Dan apa dia buat? Dia pergi samun rumah orang. Kalau saya jadi jiran dia akan samun saya. Kalau kita tengok dalam bentuk itu, sebenarnya it will come into that stage sebenarnya. Jadi why not we just help them? So then kita pesan pada mereka, we help you on the knowledge and you help other people to delegate ataupun sampaikan knowledge ini, so that other people benefit benda ni. So once you get benefit daripada kita punya knowledge yang kita sampaikan kepada you all, and we are happy, and you are also become our prospect customer for all other businesses yang kita ada. Kalau kata you rasa you nak jadi customer, but there is no obligation, okay? Awak boleh belajar daripada kita, tetapi awak kena jadi customer kita, tak ada. There is no such thing. Satu restriction ataupun satu enforcement yang macam itu. Tetapi ini sebagai satu, another thing ialah kita nak everybody dia rasa macam, dia nampak macam too good to be true kan? But anyhow, because our company is a social enterprise company, and our company making profit for the people and not for me. So what's the difference? The same thing. We are helping people because in our social enterprises, we have many companies that we mentioned just now, and these companies making revenues and making profit, and all the profit goes to charity, and developing those people, the people yang yang ada masalah ni lah. Okay. And it's not for us, but for them. Same thing bila kita buat untuk entrepreneur. So then we are helping entrepreneur to wake up daripada dia jatuh, ataupun daripada dia bukan entrepreneur, tetapi no choice hari ni because they lost their job and now I have to survive. So ini time yang sebenarnya saya jatuh teruk pada tahun 2004 dahulu. Then only then I bump into a venture yang workable, which is the photography business tadi tu. The first business yang workable for me is that photography business. Tapi selepas I betul-betul bump to the ground very very hard. Jadi saya pun rasa macam orang ramai sekarang ni yang tengah bump to the ground very hard, and now they are the most they are the most potential people to develop themselves into someone else extraordinary. Dia bukannya orang biasa-biasa. Pasal apa? Dia punya cabarannya luar biasa. Dan dia punya, the hardest you get, you bump into the floor, and the taller you can get bump. Dia punya, lagi lagi keras kita bam ke lantai, kita akan dipantulkan lebih tinggi lagi.
Lebih
Itu dia
tinggi,
punya
betul.
dalam bahasa Melayunya.
Betul.
Okay.
Mungkin sebab salah satu benda yang Saiful kongsikan dalam Telegram tu, ada venture-venture yang Saiful gagal.
Yeah.
Mungkin Saiful boleh ceritakan contoh pasal bigday.my, kedaifoto.com. Macam mana you keluar daripada kegagalan itu dan continue on.
Kita ada banyak venture gagal. White Room venture, lepas tu bigday.my, fotomama.com, lepas tu apa lagi, kedaifoto.com. Ni adalah all those failure ventures, but we like to try something. Okay, kita akan rasa macam we want to do this, we like to do this. Okay, let's do this. If we fail, it's okay. If we success, it's okay. It's good. If we success. If we fail, we learn.
Betul.
There is no failure. Sebenarnya, it's just a matter of, it's either you make a gain or you learn something. So then kita buat macam itulah. So just enjoy. So then that's why our business, semua all new ventures of our business, we have to make sure dia ride our momentum. Dia tak pakai, kita tak ada nak pakai, okay, bring me 10 million ringgit, we want to venture into new business. So then kita keluarkan simpanan kita adalah berapa juta, semua tu keluarkan tak situ and dump the whole money into new business. Dan bila gagal, we lost the whole saving. Okay, don't do that. Even though you have a lot of money, don't do that. So then just enjoy the process of starting something very little and it's growing. Because pokok yang kita tanam hari ni pun, they start from the seed. And from the seed nanti dia akan tumbuh sedikit-sedikit, makin lama makin besar dan kita kena siram dia. Sampai dia dah besar kita dah tak siram dah. Cukuplah dengan hujan yang turun hari-hari beberapa hari setahun, dia cukup to survive that trees. Dan tiap-tiap tahun dia akan keluarkan buah.
That's a good philosophy. Kalau semua orang fikir macam tu, bagus jugalah kita. Kalau kita
because you don't need a lot of money untuk capital, untuk jadi capital of your business. The most important capital is here. It's inside here.
Betul.
Once you run the first business and it happen, the good business happen, then you ada brand you, ada jenama you, and that jenama become additional capital. And you can even start a new business with the momentum, then you ask people to pay for it. Okay, contohnya you just use your potential. And cuma kita ni tidak ada, kita tak pernah open kepada equity acquisition. Maknanya orang beli,
tak ada.
tak, kita yelah, siapa yang nak share dekat company yang kemudian giving back to the people.
Okay.
So you nak share, ada orang semua share, rasa macam okay, I want to have share in your business, so then they want to take the profit for nothing. Our business is, memang kita azam kita begitu, daripada first year in the business, kita azamkan okay, this is all for charity. Okay, so then we don't like to see people begging here and there. Kan, rumah anak yatim kena buat surat untuk rayuan derma dan kemudian kena buat Facebook ads untuk tunjukkan video-video mereka memohon kesian daripada netizen supaya menderma, just to survive. So mana kita nak letak muka mereka ni? Kalau kata anak kita sendiri yang jadi anak yatim dan mereka berada dalam video tadi tu, do we like it? We don't like it. I don't like it. So then why not we change? We change into something, kita buat as such like these children yang ada kat situ, walaupun they call these children underprivileged and orphans, but they are the most privileged people. Kerana apa? Dia tahu nama mereka tidak ada dekat dalam tabung-tabung yang ada diletakkan dekat kedai-kedai mamak, kan? Ataupun diletak dekat masjid-masjid. Tapi kalau orang nak bagi, we are welcome. Tetapi kita tidak minta. That's the best part. So then dari situ sebenarnya mereka mempunyai satu self-esteem yang very high. Once dia rasa macam self-esteem very high, they already successful before they even success. Dia dah rasa macam dia yakin, dia know they can do best, and they know that they are not begging. Sebab itu, once we have all these people dengan very high self-esteem, we give them ground, we give them opportunities, and they fly. Kita beli excavator yang buruk dengan harga 20,000 lebih instead of RM1 million punya excavator yang baru. And then after couple of months, excavator tu dah berfungsi semula dengan pelbagai modifications dan juga innovation yang baru-baru. Instead of kadang-kadang excavator buat korek tanah saja, tetapi dah boleh crunching stone, boleh holding trees dan juga macam-macam lagi. Dia punya buat tu pasal apa? Dia modify dia punya outlet dekat extra outlet dekat valve yang hydraulic dia. Itu contoh.
Okay.
And then contoh macam we have big compound dekat dalam kita punya area. Then we have many gates. And setiap gate, nak buka gate tu mesti kena ada, you pakai remote. And they create as such like they can open the gate just by using radio wave, which is everybody have it in walkie-talkie. Okay, dia guna walkie-talkie semua tu. And the very simple engineering and very simple innovation, but people never thought before. So everybody they spend satu remote tu for RM25. Kalau ada 200 orang macam kita, dengan 200 remote tu dah berapa ribu, berapa belas ribu. So then everybody have walkie-talkie. They just assign one signal to communicate dengan the gate, and that gate can open and close as requested by orang yang pegang walkie-talkie. Ini contoh-contoh macam mana innovation. Yes.
Yang underprivileged tadi tu.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we believe that ini dah masuk kepada isu lain, because this is still a related issue. To develop the business, you have to develop the people. So we develop these children. We develop the children rather than dia ada dia punya, macam saya selalu kongsikan. Orang yang menyamun bank adalah orang yang intelligent. Dia intelligent dan dia berani. Dan intelligent dia mesti lebih intelligent daripada pegawai bank, daripada bos, director, pengarah, CEO bank tu sendiri, dan juga lebih intelligent daripada pegawai-pegawai keselamatan yang ada, dan juga dia boleh, kerana dia boleh bypass semua tu dan dia boleh get the money inside the bank, out from the bank. Dan dia ada keberanian. Okay, cuma dia tak ada akhlak. Sebab itu dia spend dia punya intelligence itu kepada the wrong side. Tapi kalau kita nak tune balik, dia intelligent boleh pakai, keberanian dia boleh pakai, cuma kita betulkan akhlak dia. So then they fly on the right side. They fly to be a very highly potential children to develop businesses that we have. Kalau kata sebut 15, 16 business yang kita buat pada hari ini, you ask me to do one pun kita dah jadi tak cukup masa. Now we have 16. Macam mana kita nak cukup masa untuk semua benda tu? So tadi tu saya cakap, I only have one phone number, and that is personal number, and there's family numbers. Okay, why? Because orang tanya saya, macam mana you blend your family time dengan your business yang ada banyak tu? Jadi I cakap, we bring the family into the business, and the business jadi satu family. Okay, and then itu the children is our family. We bring them into the business, and the business become a family business. Jadi macam family business, and the more we work, the more bonding we created. Ini yang menarik. Jadi we get life, happiness, and revenue at the same time.
So muncullah Saiful Nang seorang entrepreneur dan juga seorang social entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mungkin.
Mungkin.
Yalah.
So mungkin saya nak cerita sikit sebanyak sikit pasal you punya academy tu. What is it about?
Okay, Saiful Nang Academy ialah buat masa ni kita banyak sebenarnya imposekan ataupun kita ajar orang lebih kepada problem based learning. Okay. Island photography in only 1 month.
1 month?
1 month. Okay. In university ataupun dekat dalam college, they take about couple of years. Kalau kata dekat kemahiran, college kemahiran, it take couple of years untuk you sampai ke level 3. Baru you boleh jadi professional photographer. Okay? It take 2 years. Kalau dekat university, dia campur dengan all this philosophy dan macam-macam semua tu, it might take 3 years and maybe 4. Kalau kena repeat lagi panjang lah. And then kita lebih kepada we are thinking of how to because we have a company and hiring photographer. We cannot wait to train them for 3 years.
Betul.
In order for us to to let them work for us. Dan kita tak boleh nak bagi orang yang tak ready untuk work for us. Then we have to train them. So then we find a way sebenarnya they learn faster by doing rather than learning. Because by doing you will face problem. Once you have problem, you will find solution. And finding solution is the learning process. And then once you get the solution, you try to solve this problem, and the problem solved, and it become another set of new knowledge. And you will never forget about this knowledge, because this knowledge derive from experience rather than what you read dekat dalam nota-nota ataupun buku-buku.
Textbooks.
Text. That's the philosophy that we created. That's why we created a lot of gig economies.
Okay.
Those people yang dia duduk dekat rumah, ada yang jadi suri rumah, ada yang tapi dia content maker, content memasak lah, content buat anything they like. Kalau content dia gardening, dia buat gardening. And dia ada follower. Those people, makcik-makcik yang suka tengok gardening ni, dia pergi follow YouTube ni, dan dia ada viewer yang ramai. Dekat dalam sekali dia buat upload video macam mana nak tanam bunga chrysanthemum contohnya. Ramai pula orang follow, ramai orang tengok, dan dia dapat duit tu daripada YouTube, and dia dapat duit juga daripada product endorsement.
Okay.
Of course lah, kedai-kedai yang jual baju mesti nak minta dia ni endorse baju dia. Kan, pasal apa? Dia punya video sekali buat, ada 500,000 orang view. Dia pergi tengok, dia pergi jenama baju tadi tu, dia pergi dekat TV boleh janji 200,000 je view. Itu pun melalui report daripada surveyor. Tak tentu lagi. There is no statistical accuracy on TV. Ini contoh macam mana kita. So dia buat konten, dan kemudian dia buat konten gardening, tapi baju yang digunakan itulah baju yang orang rasa, oh dia pakai baju ni, patutlah. Lepas tu nanti dia pergi cari baju tu. Terus jadi. So adakah itu percuma? Untuk seorang suri rumah, dia bayar endorsement for 20-30,000 untuk satu appearance. Nanti dalam episod lain baju tu nak masuk lagi, bayar lagi another 20,000, 30,000. This is how influencers work. And this is gig economy, and people can work from home, and they decide how much salary dia, how much income yang dia nak buat every month. Contoh. Dan dia decide what kind of content they like to do. This content, dia ada suka masak, dia buat masak. Jadi this is what Saifunan Academy is all about. Kita tak ajar orang macam mana. Dulu mula-mula kita ajar orang macam mana nak jadi fotografer. Now no more. Macam mana you want to use photography and video for your own benefit. Your business benefit, your content making, and your self branding, ataupun you want to you want to make your restaurant crowded dengan kemahiran ini semua. Ini semua yang
inilah yang you ajarkan dalam Saifunan Academy.
That's why we integrate this one dengan Rare Founders, because Rare Founders adalah those people yang 70% of them they are in the startup level, in the seed level. They just about making business or just started making business. Jadi we want to help them so then they can gain some of simple knowledge, because right now your handphone can shoot good photo. Can shoot good video. Not only shoot, they can edit good video. And even my content mostly come from handphone. I shoot using my handphone, then I edit by my handphone, then I upload also by my handphone. So I can upload anywhere in the wherever you get the signal.
With good connection.
You get the good connection, then you can upload and you can share. Okay. Right now, in visual making, the aesthetic value is getting lesser important than fresh content.
Okay. Fresh content.
Yes.
Maksudnya?
Hari ni hari ni you ada isu pasal tentang merdeka, but video tu keluar lepas merdeka, no point.
Okay.
So that it have to be quick. Hari ni ada isu tentang, for instance, today ada isu pasal apa? Pasal Ajai. Pasal Ajai bagi markah 2 tadi tu. Tetapi kita mengulas isu ni next month. No point. Nobody will want. Nobody follow.
Trending masa tu
Even though you take your point of view, your content is so brilliant, but the season is over. So nobody want to see it anymore. People dah move on. That's why in the social media, the speed is more important than
the quality.
Being perfect.
Perfect, yeah. The finish, the finished work tu, estetik tu tadi
That's why in the university kadang-kadang kita pun kena tukar. Dulu kita punya assignment diukur daripada cantiknya, kontennya, value-nya. Tetapi all those assumption. Tapi bila kadang-kadang kita upload video yang sama, dia tak engage dengan orang. Berbanding dengan video yang kadang-kadang orang pakai handphone saja. Rakam, selfie, all the way. Sugu Pavitra for instance.
Betul.
Every daily cooking activity dia rakamkan. Dia tak ada editing tool, just a camera yang kalau kata pakai Android, you know kan, you boleh pause recording dan kemudian you restart balik recording semua tu. Tapi dia masuk kat situ terus upload. There is no intro, no outro, nothing on the screen, just video.
Terus.
And she got 700,000 over followers in the Facebook. And dia dah celebrity dah. Macam mana benda tu berlaku? Because it's fresh content. Cantik dah nombor 2 dah. Kalau dia submit submit to university assignment for that video, I believe
mungkin tak dapat A lah mungkin.
I believe she won't pass. Because malulah ni kalau kata sebuah universiti meluluskan satu macam ni je. Tapi on the content wise, the right time dia masuk dekat dalam, itu yang menentukan sebenarnya dia punya boost dia.
Okay, wow, banyak betul sharing hari ni.
Wow. Dekat 1 jam juga.
Terima kasih. Mungkin Saiful Nang nak ada advice, nasihat kepada sesiapa yang nak jadi entrepreneur, sesiapa yang nak create ventures diorang, what sort of mindset yang diorang kena ada, apa yang diorang kena fikir, planning, branding, semua tu.
Okay, pesanan saya kepada semua, apabila kita entrepreneur ni dia, you got to cultivate entrepreneurial itu dari dalam diri. Kita nak kena jadi usahawan tu, dalam hati ni kita dah bagi tahu, I want to be entrepreneur, I want to be the founders. Then you punya kerja, you punya cara, you punya disiplin is a discipline as a founders. Ini yang you kena walaupun you you rasa macam you want to be the business founder masa you baru masuk pre-university ataupun baru dalam first year. Tetapi segala assignment yang you buat, segala gerak kerja yang you buat, mestilah mengarah ke sana. And yes, you have to respond dengan keadaan. You want to make business, sometimes you have to see outside. Tengah hujan, bisnes apa yang laku? You tengok dekat luar, tengah panas lit-lit, apa bisnes yang laku? So then follow the nature. It's faster than you try to create your own nature. Okay, dan itu saja mungkin pesanan saya kepada entrepreneur, bakal student MMU ataupun semua sekali yang menonton video ini. This is how we share something from our own practice. Not scripted. Kita it could be wrong theoretically, but it's right on the practice, and we have done it. And just follow, do what you like to do and monetize what you like to do. I think that's the best way of being in the gig economy now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone. Putri Syahidatul Akmal from Entrepreneurship Development Center with me today, Saiful Nang. Thank you.